Okay, so I've been thinking about different like operating models or mental models around AI. And it's like, okay, well, what do we do with coding versus maybe you're an engineering manager and how that model may differ. And I found one I think works. I'm not saying I invented this, but this is the model I've come down to. And I'm going to use an acronym PER, which means plan, execute, and review. And how I think of this as a good model or way of working with AI is to consider where a human is in the loop, or potentially on the loop, depends what you're doing, but generally in the loop here. That's what I'm talking about, where you're performing sort of a one on one interaction to an extent, and where that makes sense. The general thesis, what I've seen a lot of people is they've been doing like the sandwich, right? So it's like human, AI, human, which I have a slight different take on this. And it really depends on what you're trying to achieve and how much trust you give. And that can also vary between different tasks. So, sometimes you want to give AI the full control, full trust, full autonomy. Other times you want to handhold it. Other times you're like, no way, this is all going to be me. Like maybe writing a blog post that's from you, you might not want to have AI as your ghostwriter, no matter how much you've trained it or the resources you've given it. The fact you're going to review it, you still want to write everything hand by hand. Versus some people might be like, I've built up enough resources here that the AI can use it and comfortably write in how I write, and I'm going to give it a general theme. I'm going to go and have it essentially create a draft for me to then produce. Or maybe someone who's just like, I just want to ship stuff out. Like, here's my rambling turned into a decently structured post based on how I write. So this is sort of keeping that in mind, right? So the PER model, basically plan, execute, review. Planning and review is where things can be quite variable. The execution is 100% AI. There's no human intervention there. I strongly believe in like harness engineering if you're on the coding side. So the execution, you shouldn't be hand coding anything. It should be the AI doing it. If there's something that comes up wrong or is not quite right, you fix the harness and just let it keep going and fixing itself so you get a better overall product in the long term. Otherwise, if you are manually patching things, the AI is not going to get better and you're not going to see the value. So that's that out of the way. The planning and the review is where it gets really interesting. Now, if you look at how you can plan, there was a statement, I'm trying to think, sometime last year, I think it was from the AMP folks, about outsource your typing, not your thinking. And I definitely flew that flag a lot, and I completely agreed with it for quite some time. And then I started to doubt that a bit because I'm like, there's times when I'll collaborate with my partner, which will be AI in this instance. And surprisingly, it would either align quite well to how I would normally think. Maybe there's some confirmation bias there, I don't know, but it would be really close to how I was thinking or exactly how I was thinking. Or there are other times when I actually thought of things in a better way. I'm like, actually, you know what? That's 100% right. It's kind of weird to sort of say that and so the AI saying that back to me, but that would happen. So I started to have this contradiction of what I was telling people because I was like, actually, this is working out pretty well. Now, I then heard recently this other quote, and I'm going to butcher it, but basically, I'm not even going to quote it, but it was about you can outsource your thinking, but don't outsource your understanding. And this actually resonated with me a lot. Maybe it's an evolution. Strong opinions, weakly held. And that hits hard for me. So the way I've been working is essentially in partnership with AI, where I will collaborate with it at times in the planning phase and then making sure I actually understand what we've planned together, which means that I then have a lot of trust in the execution because if you can follow the plan, that's great. And we've also got the review step coming up after execution, which we can catch anything that was maybe missed because of the harness or gaps in the plan or theories that myself and maybe the AI thought were going to be true, but turned out when we executed whatever it is, didn't quite pan out how we thought. I mean, that happens in normal software engineering without AI anyway. So I've got to the point where my planning has essentially gone to 3 potential layers. There's a layer where it's just all me planning, like this is the exact plan, this is what I want. maybe just convert that into a spec for me that the AI can then work with and do whatever it needs to do. Or there's one where I collaborate. So it's me, here's the idea, driving it, we'll do a bit of back and forth. Think of Matt Pocock's grill me skill, something like that, running back and forth. Or there's times where I've got like a loose idea. You just plan it out, give me the plan. I'll have a look and see if what you've come up with kind of gels with me and go that route. That's more for like really uber like spikes or just quick little things that I'm going to throw away anyway. But those are like the 3 levels that I take. So it's zero collaboration, or just fully hand off and allow AI to automate that planning phase. After that, as I discussed, execution, AI, go do your thing. You can harness that however suits your needs. That's always going to be highly variable. It's also going to depend on what you're doing. Maybe you're working in Claude Desktop or the Codex app or something else, and maybe it's non-technical. It's more, you're creating social media posts or marketing campaigns or whatever, like other things. Then it comes down to review, which this one I generally there's a couple modes. I don't think there's any other than this right now, at least for me, which is you just manually review yourself. That's the code. That's how the actual output result, whatever that thing is, the artifact where it's created, you evaluate that. You give it a review. If there's something that's not quite right, you start the cycle again, refine the plan, execute, etc. Then there's the other aspect where you bring AI into play, and that's getting AI to review whether it's part of your harnessing or something separate, having it actually review what was done to make sure it's got it correct. You could somewhat roll this into execution with like the new goal pattern that we're seeing, which is sort of like a Ralphish-like loop. But I generally like to have another model review what was there based on the plan, and then it give its own critique and then redo the loop. That's the other mode that I'm looking at. I have been thinking as well about if there is a third mode to the review part where you do offload all of it to an AI, and that's primarily based around like a risk score. And if what it's been doing is got like a low risk, it's like, well, I don't need to review it. Just make sure if it passes all of the requirements that we've set up for whatever this thing is, ship it, call it done. But then if it's anything higher than that, it really should have some level of human intervention. So that may be a mode, but I'm not 100% certain on that yet, but the other ones I am. So this per model, there definitely is some other things that encompass that, but the per model, the core foundational thing of plan, execute, and review definitely provides a lot of value. It's been working for me for many months now, and it's certainly one operating model or mental model that I'm using that I'm going to continue to run at least for the next few months just to see how that pans out. And yeah, that's about it. I just wanted to kind of get that off my chest because I've been talking to a few people about it, and I just wanted to publish it because I think it might be useful and to get like broader opinions on it, as well as just share this a bit broader than having one-on-one conversations with people. But yeah, I'd love to know your operating model. How are you working with AI? What have you found that works? And yeah, until the next one, that's it. Bye.